Oh, baby, we're back. It's a holiday. Happy holidays, everyone. It's a lovely 420. Doggy coin is pumping to the goddamn moon. Elon Musk is riding, rockets to the fucking heavens. And we got plenty to talk about with Bitcoin on actually short-term time frames right now. Bitcoin having a little bit of a pump me up off the short-term time frame range, as he spoke about, was likely from this morning's video. So now I want to follow up on it on today's live stream. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's go over here actually to the good old Krown trading application, which can be found at app.krown.net. And oh my god, man, I'm seeing all kinds of very interesting comments today. What's up, Igor? What's up, Yasek? What's up, Nimbo? There they fucking are. Oh man, I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. And there he is, Mr. Alex Switch, our other lovely Mr. Moderator. And do we have any other moderators around right now? It looks like no, but that's okay. That's okay. We're in good hands. Oh fuck, Elsa's here. God damn it! Not this bullshit again. Anyways, let's put the folks over here in the Krown application, which can be found at app.krown.net. It is 100% free. The link is in the description below as well. Anyways, is there anything here that we do not see, or sorry, that we haven't seen on this morning's video that we can now see now? Well, actually, what I would say, there he is, Mr. Pedro. Pedro's here. Hello. How you doing, man? Love it. Absolutely love it. Anyways, onto the Krown application. Yeah, there is something that actually not super significant, but rather telling on the short-term timeframes here, as Bitcoin does pop up about $2,000, $3,000 from this morning's video at around $53,500 to $54,000, now to just over $56,000. We do see with that. So to kind of document the relationship that we've been seeing for the past, really like the past month or so here, I want to go into the market data tab and check out the price action chart overlaid with the open interest chart, and this is incredibly valuable to me. And one of the reasons why I really do love this app right now. And in the big thing is, it's not like huge right here, but as of Bitcoin's pretty much all-time high at about $65,000, we have seen open interest come down alongside price action coming down as well. That is indicative of essentially longs taking profits, not necessarily like shorts piling up at the fucking top trying to get the mega massive move on the major macro reversal. In fact, what we have is right now, as Bitcoin does try to put in yet again another higher low on the daily, we do have open interest going up a little bit alongside price action. Again, for reference, if we could actually narrow this down to like the last 6 or so hours since this morning's video, what we would say is that the open interest did pop up about almost 300 million alongside price action going up about $2,000 to $3,000 off that bottom side range. So again, the bias from the last couple of days kind of like flip-flopped around, kind of funny the way that this works. But yesterday, of course, we were testing the top side of the range. What did we say? Well, typically when you're in a range and you test the top side of the range, what's going to happen after that? You're going to go test the bottom side of the range. And in this case, that was driving our targets yesterday down to about $54,000. That target obviously met this morning. And what happens after you go test your supports? Well, typically you're going to bounce off that and try to find the highs of your range as well. Hey, what the fuck? What is going on right here? Why is oh my god, my charts must have been actually deleted. What the hell? This is actually rather bizarre. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, well, we can just zero in on these charts right here. It's basically the same thing anyways. But that is so very bizarre, though. What the hell? I certainly did not. Oh, there it is. Okay, that was strange. I guess TradingView just decided to populate them at their own leisure. Anyways, yes. So going over it with our actual with our actual range trend lines right here. Again, I'm referencing the 57.5 to the upside versus $54,000 to the downside. As long as Bitcoin's caught within there, I see no resolution for short or medium term time frames. And I still look at this as Bitcoin trying to put it in a higher low on the daily, as we identified most importantly on the secondary charts right here, with the daily yet again dancing around that green 55 exponential average on the bottom side of this current dump. Now, of course, this 55 exponential average has been one of those nice keys to kind of be watching ever since Bitcoin really broke out for the macro structure at about 11,500 months ago in say September, October region. And ever since then, Bitcoin's been using that 55 on its very, very aggressive mega dumps. You could maybe even say that this one was a little bit of an iteration right here, but certainly this one right here and this one right here, tested again right here, tested again most recently right here on the 24th of March, and then once again coming in on the 18th, 19th of April, testing down to that 55 exponential average, and so far so good. I do like the wick action below it, and as we identified yesterday, that if Bitcoin can actually hold this range on the short and medium term time frames, and by extension the daily obviously as well, then naturally speaking, if Bitcoin actually confirms a local low here, then Bitcoin will have hidden bullish divergence initiated on the daily, as we are making lower lows on daily RSI correlated with what would be higher lows on daily price action right here. So again, how would we actually confirm a higher low low on this? Well, I would actually, in this case, go down to a 2 hour or 4 hour. Obviously, a higher term time frame is going to be a little bit more confidence inducing, but I do think that you could probably use a 2 hour for this one. And I wouldn't necessarily call it above this very short term resistance right here at about 56.5. No, I would still be sticking with 57.5 to the upside right here. Also synonymous with the 4 hour 200 exponential average, this purple moon average, as you can see right here, essentially governing the highs of the short term time frame range. And if that level does get taken out, not only would we confirm this as a local low, it would also be a higher low. That higher low would also be accompanied by hidden bullish divergence and also a 12-hour momentum oscillator is turning up as well, as we can see back down around here on our 12-hour Stokes, as they do once again play off the regression that we identified over the past couple days, finally getting hit, as these things do take time. And then I would be having a target back up somewhere around about $60,000 in line with the top side of the major structure right here. And then of course, if we go over to CME, that is where your, of course, CME gap is coming in from last Friday closure at about just above $60,000. So I still do think that that's in the cards. And if I had to call it right now, yes, I do think that that actually does get hit off. Now, would I be willing to call further continuation from there? No. However, I would still be looking at this as within the context of obviously an uptrend on the daily and all higher term timeframes, plus a macro uptrend as well. So I'd be generally geared towards the upside, but I want to see another range essentially kind of extrapolated from that region if that condition again is met. For the downside, it's very much the same thing from what we spoke about on this morning's video. Still looking at a downside resolution for any sort of a closure, especially below 53.5 on a new low. I even think that you could do it on a 4 hour closure below about $54,000 even. And then yes, I would be looking for a rather quick move somewhere down around $51,000. Our last prior higher low on the 25th of March over here. Very likely a bounce included there, and then very likely another drive to the downside over time. My target generally would be about $45,000, and I do think that another major low could be involved at that point. Now, of course, I won't go over the full explanation on this video right here because it's just going to be too fucking long, and I want to keep this more pertinent towards like the actual conversation, as I kind of want to keep these videos separate. But if you want the sort of like 3 major things that I'm looking for, obviously there's going to be more than that, but 3 of like the easiest things that I'd be looking for in order to denote a major macro cycle reversal. That was included in this morning's video and also the video on the day prior, and several other videos which you can view at any given time that you so desire, or not at all. Anyways, I won't be going over it right now, but just to put it bluntly, we haven't seen any of those get hit off. So I am, even if Bitcoin were to break down here, while I would be looking for some significant downside, like I said, down to $45,000, ultimately I would not be looking at that as a macro reversal. I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. That is what that bias would be setting in place, at least for myself. Of course, everyone out there, if you know, or you yourself who is watching this right now, you are free to make your own decision. Of course, trade at your own, analysis, but I'm just kind of sharing what I'd be looking at right here, because I'd still be erring on the side of the macro trend. And to be fair, as long as the weekly is essential, especially above $45,000, there's really no downtrend to be had here. And by the way, that weekly 21 exponential average would be coming around that region as well. Again, that's only relevant, at least in my eyes, as long only relevant if Bitcoin actually breaks even the short and medium term time frame range down here. If that happens, then yes, we will have a daily downtrend, and we will very likely play out some pretty nasty downside. And this market's going to take a lot longer. And all of the people who are looking for these crazy numbers in the year 2021, for whatever reason that it has to be, are hopefully actually, never mind. There's no sense in getting onto that. I'm seeing a lot of very interesting comments here. Or sorry, I should say that I saw a lot of very interesting comments at the beginning. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, man. So I've been seeing a lot of very interesting comments about people commenting on this new fucking meme in this market with all of the supply essentially coming off of exchanges. This is so silly to be focusing on so fucking much. The problem with that sort of information is, first and foremost, how do you get even legitimate information to begin with? Now, I understand that, yes, you can actually look at the blocks yourself, but you're probably not doing that. You're probably getting it from from some third party source. So it's that comes with its own trust issues, as we've definitely found out with our own API feeds to all of these exchanges for the Krown trading app. There is all sorts of nonsense going around there, so it's not necessarily easy to get that information to begin with. And then second off, people making that sort of a narrative are they're like combating themselves right now. It's very interesting for me to watch this, and it really goes to show, at least in my opinion, that looking at like fucking fundamental, or not necessarily fundamentals, but news and this whole narrative surrounding it is really literally it's a game of hindsight. It's a game of fucking hindsight is what I'm trying to say. And what do I mean by that? Well, okay, you could be looking at this two ways, obviously. You could be looking at this as one way, which I think a lot of people are currently looking at it, which is Bitcoin's coming off of exchanges. So that means that you are assuming now that people are going to hodl that and put it into like their personal wallet or whatever. Well, I don't think that that's actually that relevant anymore, because what is one of the reasons why institutions actually feel comfortable with getting into Bitcoin nowadays? It's because you do have institutional custodians, meaning that Coinbase will literally fucking hold your coins for you, insure them, and you don't have to worry about them that way. So it makes very little sense to even be taking them off of off of a marketplace like that, where you actually have fucking insurance for it to begin with, into your own wallets if you're a big institution dealing with like $1 billion. Do you think you're just gonna have a fucking ledger in your like desk, and it's like, hey guys, just got $1 billion of Bitcoin over here, no problem, go back to work. You can trust it with me, man. I've got this shit locked up. It's so fucking silly, man. It's such a very simplistic narrative, and this is why I wouldn't necessarily put my name behind putting some sort of analysis or assumptions on it either which way. The problem is dealing with the unknowns, and obviously the unknown unknowns, right, too. But this is an unknown that we just don't know how to actually apply towards, and always the narrative comes after the action. So right now people are looking at supply coming off of exchanges that's bullish, because it has to be bullish. Well, it's been coming off for a long time now, and Bitcoin hasn't really necessarily been going full on to the moon that whole goddamn time. Now, if that was the structure that we've been seeing ever since 6 months ago, when Bitcoin really started this run above $11,500 right here, I'd say, yeah, that's a pretty damn good theory. Definitely can be tested, but we don't even necessarily have a test for it just yet. But the problem is that whole interplay has been going on for quite some time now, and it wasn't so long ago that Bitcoin's had some pretty nasty downside moves. So I do think that sort of a thing it's fun to talk about. It's great for crypto news channels to get into, but at the end of the day, can you trade something like that? Like, how do you fucking manage risk off of that information? How do you design a target for that sort of information? You can't. And more importantly, at the end of the day, because we don't really have a whole hell of a lot of history to begin with, what are you going to fucking do if that actually starts to shoot up? Because at some point it will. At some point it will, assuming. Now, then again, could it also be that supply coming off of exchanges? Do you know what exchanges that there are? Do you know, does that imply that they're not going to other margin exchanges? Are they going to go to maybe like a wild west, like 100x fucking crypto derivative bullshit exchange like most people trade on? I mean, it could very well be, right? Like, we don't necessarily know that for certain, and of course there is ambiguity with that information to begin with. So I'd really push back on information like that. It's fun to talk about at like a really boring fucking crypto party, of which I just saw Deribit's party in Asia for whatever the fuck they did. It's like, man, that looks like fun, I guess. No offense. Honestly, as the years have gone on, Deribit have actually really proven themselves to be probably one of the biggest professionals in this market, still operating one of those wild west crypto exchanges, but it's still fucking funny, man. Hey, I'm always gonna laugh at something if it's funny, because it's funny, and you gotta, you just gotta be real with that, I suppose. Anyways, as far as the lower term time frame analysis goes, we do have a few other things to follow up on here as far as our momentum oscillators go. Things that we haven't already mentioned, which would be the 4-hour and 3-hour momentum oscillators turning up here. 3 hours actually a little bit flippy floppy, but 4-hour more importantly, having that quick give and go right here. Which anytime that I see this sort of relationship where you see it essentially cross multiple times around a pivot zone, so I mean around a bullish control zone or a bearish control zone, obviously this one in the guise of a bearish control zone right here, then that typically is going to be the next like general direction. In this case, with this printing, another higher low right here, and even Caretaker's RSI, I believe, was giving it a bit of a phantom div read here on the buy hourly RSI. Yeah, it was. I do kind of favor another short-term upside drive. What's up, Model Changer? Model Changer says, hey, Krown, I noticed and wanted to let you know one of the greatest comedians of our time, Norm Macdonald, is following you on Twitter. Really? What the fuck? Norm Macdonald's following on Twitter? That's awesome, man. He has to watch all my shitty Twitter videos. That's amazing. Holy shit, Elsie. You hear that? Norm Macdonald's watching all those videos that you make with me acting like a fucking crazy monkey. That's amazing. He's like a really famous comedian, actually. He's a really great comedian, in fact. So shout out to Norm Macdonald, man. If you're listening to this right now, that's super cool. But I suspect that you probably meant to follow like another Eric Krown or something. He probably got lost in the Twitters. Sorry about that, brother. You're in the fucking crypto space now. Take those goddamn pants down, huh? Anyways. Yeah, Norm is great, man. He's really, really great. I'm actually a big fan of his, which would be hella funny. So, yes, someone says Norm Macdonald is not that funny. That's right. He's not that funny. I heard it on the internet. There'll be no laughing at Norm Macdonald. Jesus Christ. What's up, Charles Fox? I see you over there, man. But yeah, man, looking at the lower term timeframes, we are seeing a bunch of things turn around. So I do think that Bitcoin likely does pull through to the upside here. If I had to put my money on it, I'd be saying the same thing as yesterday, that yes, I do think that Bitcoin not only tests the top side of the range once again, but I do think that it probably does resolve to the top side of the range, and we do fulfill the gap somewhere around $60,000 for Bitcoin. We also see buy hourly TSI having a little bit of a flip-flop right there, technically up, albeit within the bearish control zone, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'd be looking for the 4 hour to kind of follow through with that as well. In fact, it's actually already, I was not expecting to see it up right here, which is rather good. So we got TSI, Stokes, and in all lower term timeframes on the same side, as well as even the 12 hour now too, playing off the same trend line that Bitcoin's been playing off of ever since February 28th right here, also connected with our 25th of March lows. So that would be this major low right here. That would be this major low right here. And that would potentially be another potential major low right here. Obviously, those are all coming alongside of the same test on the 55 exponential average, as you can see as well on the daily. Now, I should represent both sides accurately. While I do think that Bitcoin probably does give another try to the upside and does, at least try a bounce here, somewhere up a few $1,000 north of, the current topside range, I would be a little bit concerned with this potential signal, as it is in the etchings of continuation as far as the DMI minus being dominant with the ADX actually strengthening. Now, the ADX has only one bar of strength right there. If we see another bar of it strengthening alongside the DMI minus getting a positive slope, which technically right now it does not, that would be rather concerning to me, and probably be indicative that Bitcoin is, going to spend a little bit more time hanging around here and then probably resolve the range to the downside. But at least for right now, if you're bearish, you're looking at this as likely another lower high on the short-term timeframes, making some sort of an ascending triangle. That can definitely work out at the end of the day. I do think that has some merit, but in this case right here, I'm going to go with the overall trend and everything else that we kind of spoke about from this morning's video and rehashing it right now. But if you are bearish, that's likely what you're looking at, a little bit of a bearish redistribution pattern right now. To be fair though, you don't necessarily have that secondary lower high within this current short-term time frame range. So to me, that would be where that becomes a little bit more likely, a little more actionable. The third one is usually the one that does it in before the actual break to the downside in this case. For what it's worth right now, with all momentum oscillators turning up, I do think that Bitcoin plays a little bit more within this range and then probably resolves it over the next couple days before Friday expiration. And what the fuck is going on over here, man? What the hell is this? What the... Hey, thanks for that, Hoju. Or hopefully I'm saying that properly. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like you've actually included a message with that, so I would be happy to chat it out. But I guess it's just a notion of generosity. Appreciate that, man. Oh, do we have the caretaker in here too? Fucking nice, man. We got a full house. This is excellent, sirs and zers. Anyways, yes. So I think that we've gone through all the lower term timeframes here. I just want to make sure that everything's on the same side. We got 3 hour Joule, giving a bit of a buy signal right there for the more aggressive Joule traders. I don't traditionally like these in the middle of the zone here, but in an uptrend on basically all time frames, daily and above, would I feel a little bit more confident to front run a signal like that? Perhaps yes. What about the buy hourly? I'd imagine we might even have a perfect one over here. No, it actually is not giving us that right now, although it is giving us a bit of a bullish posturing there. And hourly, do we have anything here as well? No, we don't, but we do see all other momentum oscillators like RSI, TSI, and Stokes on the same side right now. So if I did have to call things, I do think Bitcoin probably tries another short-term move to the upside here. Probably does not break to the upside just yet, to be quite honest with you. I do think that Bitcoin bakes within this range for another day or so. It certainly wouldn't be out of the ordinary here, but here is the takeaway point that I'd really be saying right now. If you just want like a fucking one sentence blurb, the longer that Bitcoin can hold $54,000 without actually breaking down on any time frames that matters, the more and more likely that this does turn into a local low. And I'd say within the next couple days here, the bears are kind of on the clock right now, and I would really not be looking for, or at least I don't consider a 4 hour time frame a threat to a daily and above trend, at least in its current posturing with everything that's going on right now. Now, with that said, if Bitcoin does fail to make a higher high on the 4 hour here, not necessarily on this next dildo, obviously that's not too relevant, but let's say that Bitcoin were to confirm a lower high, then Bitcoin actually would have an issue here on 4 hour RSI. We would have hidden bearish evidence in place, but again, now we're getting a little bit too in the weeds right now, so I do think that it's better to kind of back off and focus on the greater picture, and it's more or less a lot of the things that we did say earlier. So I do think Bitcoin Bitcoin, again, kind of wrapping it up here, probably plays a little bit more within this range, maybe another try to the upside here, but assuming that Bitcoin does not take out a higher high, I actually would be looking at another run towards this blue box liquidity zone, and then that should be the real test. If Bitcoin can hold it again, I'd imagine that's probably going to be the big one, and set it up for a nice little, at the very least, medium-term reversal here. Obviously, higher-term time frames wouldn't have reversals because they never reversed to begin with. So there you go. And I want to take a quick look at Bitcoin versus Korean won once again. I actually really do like this chart just because it's the one chart that really looks different than all the other ones. It actually looks different. And what do we see right here as far as the daily goes? We see a nice wick to the upside, a nice wick on the downside. But obviously, this would be if you are in a candle dildo formation trader, you'd be calling this likely a hammer if it closes something like this. And this would be, more or less a decent signal, especially with RSI making a significantly lower low right here. That would be indicative that, yes, once again, we do have a pretty powerful drive of hidden bullish divergence. And I would be more or less favoring that on the whole. Now, I want to bring you one last chart here before we get into the comments, just because I think that this one is rather interesting. And I don't really see anyone else talking about it. Not to be like one of those guys like, why is nobody talking about this one thing that I found? It's like, fuck you. Fuck you, you bastard. Everyone says, why is no one's talking about this? Really? You're talking about it, so it's like, geez, the narcissism is sickening, sir. Anyways, anytime that I see something like that, man, that's like for Twitter engagement. That's like for, social media bullshit type of clout chasing, if you will. Yeah, I really like that phrase because it quite literally is. I mean, that quite literally is what it is. But anyways, looking at this right here, this is actually Bitcoin versus the M1 supply. So technically speaking, I believe the Fed came out and said that they're not going to be actively tracking the M1 or M2 anymore. But if you do actually put this ticker in on TradingView and hit enter, just like this, if you literally just do it like this, you can get this chart as well. And while I don't think it's actually very actionable, to be honest with you, it is rather interesting just kind of get an idea of what Bitcoin's potential real value is. And if you're looking at this chart in the way that it is right now, you'd probably actually be looking for Bitcoin to have a bit of a pullback here on the whole. Coming back down to, the 21 on the weekly would certainly not be out of the question. Long term, obviously, this would be bullish, but playing out a short term pullback from this, short term with regards to the weekly, is certainly not out of the question here. So I do want to represent that as well, to kind of represent the bears a bit more. So they do have a few things going for them right here. But at the end of the day, I actually do think that this is one of the few times where the shorter term timeframes is going to be revealing of a lot more things than looking at like a daily right now, because the daily is going to be a little bit too slow with kind of judging that next sort of confirmed higher low, which for myself, that is what I really need to see for my current trading plans. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sippy sip of this water, man. I am damn thirsty right now, and I also have to remind myself I do need to end this stream somewhat early-ish tonight. I can go for like another 50 or so minutes, or 40 to 50 minutes. So we'll be able to be here for a while, I suppose, actually. Oh, there he is, Mr. Matt Chapman and the Bitcoin Elevator, Mr. Ross. How you doing, brother? How you doing, Hashem? How you doing as well, man? Yeah, I've been watching the 2-day and 3-day jewel as well for Bitcoin. There's been a lot of setups here, but I need to see a break of structure. I absolutely need to see a break of structure in order for this to become relevant for me. And that is why I'm actually very happy to target like very, very nasty downside targets if Bitcoin does start to actually break structure here on a 2-day or 3-day, which are synonymous with the same place anyways. And actually, I even do think that you could front run that before 51.5 with even the medium term time frame range that I was showing earlier at 54,000 bucks, because that really would start to make this look like an actual break of structure, reversal plus momentum, and the jewel would certainly be precipitating that as well. But as you can see, this one is actually, technically this last signal over here is pretty okay too. Let's see, this one did technically got on the 20th of March. See what that one did. Yeah, 20th of March was right here, and yeah, I mean that that was about a $10,000 move. Okay, fair enough, but it's not really what you're looking for. I'm looking for like the $10,000 to $15,000 move when I get a signal like this, and I actually would be looking for that again if that condition is met. Okay, cool. Abbott Dynamics says, hey Krown, bro, how you doing? I'm doing all right, man. I think I'm finally over my allergies, kind of, except my nose always runs whenever I go outside. But it's all good, man. I've been getting some workouts in, even though the gyms are closed. It feels good. It feels really, really nice. Set a drink reminder to preserve the beautiful raspy lesbian voice. Appreciate that, man. But I've been drinking my tea, and so I think we're good to go for now, at least. Thoughts on shorting doggy coin soon? Bearish div on the 12-hour and developing on the daily. Feeling crazy? Thanks. Okay, we can check it out. I'm guessing you're looking at it versus US dollar. First off, my question to you would be, where do you actually trade this one on well, I guess FeedMix has it on margin, so yeah, you'll be able to short it. Do I think that there's actionable div here on a daily, or did you say daily and 12-hour? No, not at all. This is continuation again, man. I'm still looking at this continuation here. This is not a confirmed local high. If this does confirm as a local high, then yes, you will have 2 drives of bearish divergence. Is that good enough for me on a macro uptrend? Fuck no. Fuck no. On a 12-hour, do we have a confirmed local high? This one's definitely a lot closer to confirming a local high, but I still see rising wicks right here, which tells me hands off. If we do take out the 19th of April low, that is 32.5 cent right here. If we take out that low, yes, I'd look at that as actionable div, and I'd be targeting a move towards about a quarter, that being about 25 cents for the non-American fucks out there. Sorry. God damn it. Damn non-American. Damn non-Americans. How could this be? There ain't nothing in the Bible about non-Americans around here. Goddamn Europeans don't know shit. Fucking Europeans. Don't get me started about the Asians. All right, so now I'm banned from YouTube for sure. Okay, look, it's just a bad attempt at humor. All right, YouTube, look, I try to spread it around to everyone. That's it. Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, it would be good for a short-term pullback, but would I be calling a macro cycle top on this one as it is right now? No, fuck no. Daily's pretty close. Daily's very, very close here, but as we have seen in the past, well, actually, I mean, no, I have to respect the weekly as it is right now. No, I'd be very much unwilling to call a top as it is right now. In fact, if anything, I'd be looking for another drive to the upside, a short one, albeit, but at least another drive to the upside nonetheless. I did make an extension on this yesterday, somewhere around about 55 cents is where I'm looking towards, or sorry, what is that 50? Sorry, 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, a little bit of a psychological resistance, also fib resistance right there. So you very likely do get a lot of bot and algo selling going on. And I mean, this run's been fucking ridiculous thus far, so playing out a greater pullback from this region certainly would not be out of the ordinary, but to put it bluntly, you were specifically asking about a potential reversal on the whole, like a macro reversal. I don't think it's appropriate to say that just yet. I actually think that it probably has another push there, and then probably does topple over a little bit. Mr. Josh, happy 420, sir. Happy 420. I want to wish everyone a happy 420 right now. This is lovely. This is fucking lovely, man. It's a goddamn holiday. Everyone's got the day off. Bitcoin's just going sideways. That's all. That's it. Abbott Dynamics says happy 420 Krown. How's the bounce on Dixie look? Ooh, actually, I was checking that out earlier. Let's go back to it right now. Dixie just off of $91. So we did hit the $91 target to the downside from yesterday's video. I do think that this could still actually maybe even strike a little bit lower down to 90 even. But the question is specifically, how does the bounce look right now? I'd say it's in for a short-term bounce here, yes, but I don't think anything more than really like a short-term bounce. Could it get back up to like 91.40, 91.50? Yeah, I think that's certainly not out of the question. But I'd really want to see this one spend a little bit of time actually going sideways with this region on a weekly time frame. So it's not going to be doing anything anytime soon, in my opinion. And if it were to do anything anytime soon, I would be to the downside in this case. Now, of course, I actually do think that if this one comes back down to 90 and a half region, I'd look at that as an opportunity first and foremost. I actually do still like this one long term. I think that this is yet again another macro low in the making here, but currently kind of spinning up its first attempt here, which is okay. I mean, as long as it doesn't break below the actual low structure, which is basically that low $90 region, I do look at any sort of price action within this region right here, first and foremost, as an opportunity, as it very likely does at the very least try another bounce again. So fair enough on that one. To put it bluntly, what you're asking specifically though is how does the bounce look? I think it's way too early to judge it. I do think that you're in for a short-term and medium-term time frame bounce here though, if that's what you're specifically referencing, but I wasn't given a time frame for this one. YFI BTC Binance Daily says Rose Productions. Okay, YFI, this is the yams? No, this is not the yams. This is the urns. The urns. Fucking dumb. Sorry, no, this is a very highly esteemed piece of technology. It's going to save the world. It's going to change everything, the way that you do everything, except it's gonna change it by making you poor as fuck. Look shitty, man. Really fucking bad here over a long period of time versus the Bitcoin pairing specifically, that is. still in a downtrend while everything else is kind of getting a free ride to the upside. I'd have to say that this is not a good signal. I'd have to say that short term it does look a little bit bouncy. Did you give me a time frame though? Yeah, you did. You said a daily. If I'm looking at a 4, yeah, I think it rallies up a little bit more here. Maybe even back around, what is this, 0.1? However, long term, I don't really see a change of behavior over the whole, and so I'm led to believe that this is likely just another lower high and a series of lower highs as this thing continues to dwindle down to, well, I mean, it's actually got a pretty high price here apparently. But overall, man, I do think a little bit of short-term upside, then likely back down to about 75 or 74 region. What I could give you on the other side, though, to kind of adjust that bias is actually would get very phenomenally bullish on this thing if you do see any sort of a daily closure. Not even a daily closure, but okay, any sort of a daily wick above yesterday's high or a daily closure above whatever this level is right here. This is going to be 103 region, 103 and a half region. If it can take out that area, you're looking at a major reversal. Probably would it even be a macro reversal? Yes, it would be. And I'd be looking for big moves up. I'm talking about big moves up to like 135, maybe even 150 over time. That would be quite the sight. But for right now, no, I have to go with the trend. I don't see any change of behavior volume down here. This to me is most likely another lower high in the making, but probably going to take its time. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Alex. But no message. What the hell is going on here? Hey, what's up, JE6? There he is, Mr. J himself. By the way, guys, check out JE6 Trading's channel. He actually does live streams, or yes, he does live streams where he basically will just be trading right in front of your face. I don't think that he does too much audio there, but it's all good. It's very soothing. He's got a nice setup. It's really good with the lights in the background and everything. So there you go, my friends. There you go. I should mention though, it is mostly focused on traditional markets, however, which I know a lot of people here are actually very much interested in. There you go. So between him, between the trade network, between the liquidity zone, all great guys who I really like for traditional markets right now. Alrighty, let's see. What did I just miss over here? I think I just missed something, and apparently my chat did not refresh over here, so I'll have to do it manually. There we go. What the hell is that? I don't know. We have an oink. Why is Elsa oinking? What the fuck is this? This is bizarre. Krown, can you look at the Superman indicator, please? I can, but I don't think that Superman's doing videos anymore. But let's see. We can try. I can bring it up over here and see what's up. So let's try this. Okay, privacy notice, whatever. Don't have any privacy. Okay. What is it? Supo. I don't know that he's still rocking and rolling though. So we can try to do this. But I suspect that oh wow, he's actually, what the fuck, man? He's getting a lot of subscribers now. Wow, plus 3,000, plus 8,000, plus 11,000. What the fuck is going on here, man? He's killing it. He's killing it right now. The Superman indicator says full bull ahead. Actually, what I'm referencing right now is is the really lackluster views and then subscribers for pretty much all of the second half of 2018 leading into the beginning of 2021. You can see that actually for the longest time. And hey, Superman, if you for whatever reason see this video, actually like you, I actually think that you're a very entertaining personality. But this is strictly business right here that we're gonna go over. So if that's okay with you, anyways, and you probably wouldn't disagree with this anyways. I mean, probably a reasonable person, I think, or hope. Anyways, looking at this right here, you can see that once really the bear market started to get underway in 2018, this was about July, August, September. Yeah, June, July, August, September area right here. Subscribers went down to about 0 per month. And as you can see, even into the later portion of 2018, which by the way, that was when Bitcoin actually just completely puked itself out below $6,000 right here. We do see that his actually subscribers on the monthly did go negative for quite some time. I mean, we're talking about like negative 2,000 or 1,000 every month for like 6 months here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, 7 fucking months. Then a little bit of a pop in May 2019. Well, what happened right in over here, May 2019? That's this area right here now, isn't it? Right when Bitcoin went on that scream to $14,000, and then pretty muted for like the next year and a half, right? And then what happened more recently? He's back in the positive. Superman's uptrend. trending. Superman's trending, baby. We're in a fucking bull market with this Superman data. That is the true one indicator to rule them all, by the way, just so you know. But yeah, actually very interesting right here, because the reason why I would like to focus on something like this, because someone who's just getting into crypto, just on the YouTubes for like their first times with crypto in the back of their mind, what do? They type in, what altcoin do I derp? And whose face shows up right at the beginning? It's Superman with this fucking O face, right? So I actually do look at this as rather profound data, and very much an indication that we are once again in retailer space, and have been for some time here, obviously have been for some time. Anyways, I'll get back onto the chats over here. Let's see, it looks like I missed a few, actually quite a few indeed. Let's see, Chimero says, hello, mate, sir. Hello, sir, mate. Your voice sounds better now. Thanks, man. Can you please have a look at Link USD 4-hour daily? I got you, man, I got you. Link USD over here, just above 37 and a quarter. And you said 4-hour and daily. Daily, I still like overall. 4-hour, I even like for another higher low. So we actually have a higher low right here, plus momentum turning up, I would imagine. Okay, yeah, that hidden bullish evidence already there played out. We don't have any divergences over here. Here's what I'd be looking for next. If the TSI starts to turn up, especially around the 0 read on the 4-hour, that would be pretty damn good for another move back up to about $42. I do remain more or less bullish on Link on the whole, and I do think that bodes rather well for the crypto space in general. Link has been one of the generals of this market, alongside Bitcoin, alongside Ethereum, alongside a couple others, and I do put a lot of weight on it. In fact, Link, I think, is one of the most probably one of the most valuable coins that's not named Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I mean probably even more maybe more valuable than Ethereum. I know that's going to get a lot of hate there, but let me explain. Look at this chart. It only goes up, man. Look at Ethereum's chart. It doesn't only go up, actually. So this one does deserve a lot of respect right here. And what is the general notion? Look, if something like Link is essentially holding its lows and even putting in some rallies during a time like 2018, 2019, then what's going to happen when the whole market turns around? This one's going to be the first one to make new all-time highs, and that's exactly what happened. And I would still be looking at this as more or less good. I look at this as a backfill in last week open, another test of the 10 simple, all good in the hood. I look at this as hidden bullish evidence on the weekly, which it quite literally is, plus TSI on the weekly turning up as well. I favor this one for another drive to the upside. Do I think that it's close to putting in a high? Yes, I do. Do I think that it has another drive to the upside though? Yeah, I also do. $50 would certainly not be out of the question, and I'll leave it at that. Dark Gold God says, Luna, one day please. Luna, it's me, Silicone. Luna, I got some peanut butter on my nutsack. Sorry, highly unprofessional right now. No such thing as professional in cryptocurrency land, man. In traditional land, I had a badge. In cryptocurrency land, I have hair. All right, that's about it, man. Looking at Luna here on the daily, I don't really have much to make out of this chart. It's probably one of the more difficult charts for me to do because I don't have much to be going off of here. If I was literally just looking at this chart, I probably would be looking for some downside. Problem is, Luna does not run this market, and if Bitcoin decides to go up, this thing's going to follow as well. Do I think that's probably forming in a higher low right here? Probably yes. If I'm looking at a 4-hour, it doesn't look great. It really doesn't look great on the 4-hour. But I do favor market analysis above everything else. So you know what I'll say as far as Luna goes? Look, as long as it's closing 4-hour dildos above what is this, $12.50, $12.60, I do favor this as likely put in a higher low. We do see 4-hour TSI turning up here a little bit within the bearish buy zone, albeit above 1336. This is obviously going to be a confirmed reversal, confirmed higher low, and I'll be looking for moves back up to 19, maybe even $20 overall. But again, if I was literally just looking at this one, not anything else in this market, I'd actually be looking downside. But again, I favor market analysis over shitcoin analysis, and in this case, it's going to favor the upside. So you probably want that one anyways. So yeah, man, I think that it likely holds those lows, or at least tries another rally there. Let's see. Tom Yao says DNT BTC. DNT, is this Distronox or Derpnox or whatever the fuck? Remember, this one was getting some love in 2017, 2018. Yes, it is. District 0x. Oh man, this one's gonna be a great chart. I can already feel it. Actually, it is pretty good. It is a pretty good chart. No. Well, it's okay. All right. This one's neither strong nor weak. It's kind of within the middle of the pack here. Wow, massive wick to the upside. That is not the most pleasure-seeking signal right there. But overall, I do think that this is a one-off, and realistically, this fact that this thing was holding all major moving averages, even on some green from yesterday, I'm going to look at this as more or less good, man. I'm never going to be bearish on anything that's above all major moving averages, especially as they're all kind of coalescing around each other right here in a very obvious consolidation. We can see that this one has a nice range going on. You might even call this an ascending triangle, pretty much around your prior all-time high. I'd be looking at this in the same way that I did as Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was testing around $20,000 prior all-time high right here, just a few, well, I guess it wasn't just a few months ago. It was a while ago now, but in December, right around here, where Bitcoin on the weekly, as you can see, put in a little bit of a stutter step as it tested its prior all-time high and then eventually broke to the upside. That's a sign of strength. And this one that we were just looking at, DNT, oh, you wanted DNT BTC. Okay, that's actually probably different. Yeah, that's a much different chart. Versus USD actually looks pretty damn good. I wouldn't be surprised to see it break out and make new all-time highs. Versus Bitcoin, a little bit more of a difficult chart here, just because Bitcoin, because it's going to have to outpace Bitcoin. And in this case, daily's actually looking good. I actually would be looking for another move back up towards 740-ish region, and probably does continue with the trend here. Yes, there's some nasty wicks to the upside, but that's just because this thing is illiquid and likely no one gives a fuck about it. But except for you, sir. So let's be respectful. Versus US dollar actually looks pretty good. I typically do like those charts, and they typically do break in that direction. Sarah Beast says, "Good morning, Krown. Elon coin, please. Tesla, sure, man. I got you on Tesla. Tesla we haven't looked at in a while, so I'm curious to see where it is. In fact, looks good here. Pre-market's actually going to be a bit of it's going to be like an unched open. I'd be looking for this one to set in, and it's pretty much already confirmed a higher low. So whenever I see something like this, where you're dancing around, let's say like the 21 exponential average in the context of an uptrend, in this case, because we're looking at hidden bullish divergence, and in the context of another higher low, when I see hidden bullish divergence plus all those things, I'm going to be looking at this one as very likely to make another stab up towards the current, I think, is this the current all-time high? 870 or $900? 875, I think it is. Yeah, this is the all-time high. Yeah, I very likely would be. It looks good to me, actually. What is going on right here? Oh, okay, all right, well, whatever. We can just go down to a daily really quick. Daily is a bit more of a range here, although I do like the weekly, so I do favor the upside. Momentum oscillators are switching into a more bullish posturing, but with the way that things are looking on the lower term timeframes, I do think that it plays out some short-term downside, however. So short-term, if this thing came back down to like 675 or 680, I think that'd be completely fine. Long-term, however, I do think that this one gives another try to the upside. And do we already have that move? We kind of already have that move down to like 680, like I just said. So you know what? I'd actually be favoring the upside more or less than anything here. Short-term timeframes, if I had to call it, I'd say upside as well. Although I don't feel as confident with that as you just kind of saw there, kind of flip-flopping around on the short-term time frame. But medium and higher-term time frame, which I believe you are most interested in, seeing as I've known you for a while now, I'd probably be favoring yes, just for the continuation to the upside. Probably up to the prior all-time high, in fact, maybe even new all-time highs in this case. Generous Josh says VET USD daily weekly. I got you, man. VET USD. Okay, we got Binance, and let's see. Okay, so you're saying daily jewel close to possible sell, but weekly bounce at weekly BBs. Okay, let's check this one out first. All right, well, first and foremost, what was the time? Yeah, this 4 hour is going to make new highs on this run. Sorry, I shouldn't say is going to. It's very likely to. Hidden bullish divergence right off that last low, above all major moving averages, in an uptrend, basically an ascending triangle here too. Yeah, I do like that. You didn't ask about a 4 hour though. You asked about a daily. Daily's looking fine to me too. Is the daily jewel an issue here? No. Okay, so the way that I look at the daily jewel right here is it's no issue at all. I need to see something very specific, and it has to be exactly this signal, otherwise I do not play. It doesn't mean that other signals don't play, but if it's not this signal, I think that they're just not the best ones to be looking for, especially when you're counter trading the macro trend in this case. What I'm looking for is something like this, where the blue gets pulled into the pink and the white in this case, and then it gets rejected off of them. Ideally, all of them will have a negative slope at the same time. As you can see right here, actually, only one of them has a negative slope, and we're not even getting that signature to begin with. So this signature is the most important. Then having all slopes on the same side is second most important. And then, well, obviously, this is in the context of counter trading the macro trend. But overall, I do think that this one has new highs here to go. There's nothing bearish about the weekly as it is right now. As we said coming into this week, because I remember you asked on Sunday, I believe it was. Yeah, I believe you asked about this one on Sunday. So following up on that, we did say, this one can have a bit of a pullback here, maybe even down to like 18 cents. And we actually almost got down to 18 cents. But I would actually be looking for new all-time highs on this one. It still looks very, very good here, man. It actually looks very, very good. At least for another drive to the upside. And based off the short-term timeframes, we could make a measured move based off of this as an ascending triangle. It's gonna be something like this, and then we could do something like this. This one's not gonna be like too scientific here, but might as well just see what it's gonna populate. Know that there's many other better ways to be doing this, but whatever. Let's see, 32.5 cents is where I'd be looking towards. All right, we got Luke Ross says IHL on Australian. Okay, IHL. All right. Okay, so you're Inconnex Healthcare. Is this like weed healthcare? Inconnex? I don't know. That looks like cannabis to me. Really fucking good here for the information that I do see. Golden Cross on an uptrend, but is this going to be one of those straight down charts for the eternity of eternity? It's damn close there, hitting up to against a 377. I do think that it'll very likely officially test a 377 here, which is about 32.5 cents. Very likely will reject on the next pass though, and then I'd want to see it come back down into range somewhere around about 26 or 27 cent, and then try again to the upside. This one actually does look like it could potentially break the long-term downtrend, but I'm very skeptical about anything that has trading like this bullshit right here. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I don't have any direct experience trading Australian markets. For what it's worth, I've only traded on Arca. I mean, that's I've never traded in Australia. I've only traded American markets as far as traditional goes. And in this case right here, though, I hate this shit. Where you literally see weeks at a time, this thing doesn't even trade. I mean, this might as well be a month, because this is like four dildos in a row of basically nothing. So to me, that tells me that there's some insider shit going on right here. Do I think that we could potentially have a reversal here? Yes. Do I think short term it's bullish? Yes. But I would be looking for a short term reversal somewhere around 32.5 to 33 cent, and then try again a little bit lower, and then come back to it after that. But there are actually a lot of good things going on right here, to be fair. Short term is up, medium term is up, long term is probably going to end up being up on this one as well, to be fair. All right, cool. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Because my voice is already scratchy. Super Googly Lee says, Krown, how are you? I'm doing all right, man. How are you, sir? Can you please take a look at Alice BTC? Alice BTC. Is this a thing? Alice. It literally is. It's called My Neighbor Alice. Sir, what the fuck is this? This thing has no history, man. I don't trust TA on this. Look, for the history that we do have, it only goes down, and this is within the context of a pretty massive bullish market cycle right now for the general crypto sphere. I'm gonna have to say what you probably know what I'm gonna say. First and foremost, man. Do I trust a chart that's this young? Absolutely not. So I want to be very, very deliberately clear with that. Look, technical analysis is imperfect enough to where you even have like 5 to 10 years of history, let alone fucking 1 month of history, or yeah, about a month here. So I really don't trust it. If I did have to call it though, yeah, I'd be looking for some more downside, because all we've seen from this one is that it goes down. Even on the short-term time frames of 4 hour, do we even have bullish divergence here? No bullish divergence on that last low. I'd look for any pop to get sold into. This is not good. My neighbor Alice is getting sold. Bad, very bad. Tom, yeah, man, it's generous shots, Mr. Tom. Ops Wallen says, hi, Krown. Hello, Ops. I'll just call you Ops if that's cool with you. Litecoin, Bitcoin, 3-day, 200 MA resistance. Okay, you're talking about Litecoin, Bitcoin. I actually have this one over here. Talking about a 3-day. You're looking at the 200 simple moving average. Okay, so first test was a rejection, yes, but this response right here with price action bouncing off aggressively off the 89 probably is going to test it again. And the second time that it does test, probably not going to reject. You typically don't get 2 major rejections on the same drive, and this one would certainly be that. What I do like about this one is a few things going on here. 3-day TSI above the bullish buy zone, albeit not with a great history. I mean, this is a pretty shitcoin of shitcoin charts. But you are testing, multi-year lows here, or not multi-years, but just, your last major low from March 2017 before the last major pump and dump, right? So do I think that this thing could maybe pump and dump again? Yes, but make no mistake about it. This is a pump and dump chart. This is quite literally a pump and dump chart. All you see here is just direct down and direct up, direct down, direct up, direct down, direct up. This is what a fucking pump and dump looks like. Do I think that we could maybe be seeing another one of those major pumps here? Look, if you're going to get one of these major pumps, it's going to come in one of these market cycle conditions that we're living in right now. But you play with fire. You play what's that saying? It's a great saying that Texans have: play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? This is definitely that, at least in my eyes. Look, understand where I'm coming from. I'm not looking to play the fucking lottery here as a trader. I'm looking to play. I'm looking to go all in on black. No, looking at this right here. Do I think that it could have a chance to actually break the trend? Yeah, I do think that it could. If anything, this would be the time, really. But well, let's actually see what a daily looks like right now. I mean, it actually looks pretty fucking weak on a daily thus far. Look, man, here's what I'd say. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt in this case. Look, as long as the 3-day is above not this current low, but last 3-day low, the 16th of April 3-day low, which is 437. I do favor another test of the 200 simple, and likely it's going to break it if it tests it again. The more times that you test something, the more and more likely it is to break. And then at that point, you're going to be looking at it, likely a move towards, I mean, that would be quite the move right there, like maybe 680, 690 Satoshis, 680, 690,000 Satoshis, that is. So it'd be quite the move, but again, you don't need to play this thing. But fair enough. If it's going to turn around, this would be the time, yes. Abbott Dynamics says, sorry, Krown, last one, I promise. All good, brother, all good. We still got another, I'd say about another 15 minutes here. Okay, YFI USD Femex 6 hour. Okay, YFI. Okay, last one was versus BTC, I believe. So this one should be a bit of a different chart here. I know you said on Femex, but I'm actually not seeing Femex. Oh, no, it's right there. But fuck it, we'll look at it. All right, and you're looking at 6 hour and 12 hour. All right, my problem with Femex is there's not a whole hell of a lot of history here, but I don't think this one has a whole hell of a lot of history anyways. Looking at 6 hour, 12 hour. Yep, hidden bullish divergence right here. I'd agree with that, certainly. Yes, and that's going to have a target back up somewhere around about 51,750. 12 hour is same thing as well. Yeah, 12 hour would be targeted region on 12 hour would be about 53,500-ish region. So I actually do like that. Obviously trend to the upside right here on essentially new all-time highs. Yeah, I do like it. I do think that it follows through. Yes, it does look okay there. No, I don't think that they've fully played out. I think that they got another small drive there if you're playing like the more muted responsible move of those. Again, 51,850 for the 6 hour, and then the 12 hour about 53 and some odd change or whatever it was. Okay, Rose Production says VET, BTC, Binance Daily. Okay, we looked at it versus the US dollar. It was looking okay there. So I'm just going to also look decently versus Bitcoins. And it does. I mean, there's, this chart isn't bad, but what I don't like about it is we see red HVP on the daily on a fucking scream of a run right there with RSI getting, pretty deep, pretty deep, but just barely in the 90s. That is a similar read to what we saw in the July highs, actually. And the July highs were over here. Red HVP, RSI in the 90s, not fucking good. Same thing over here on this major high before going down for the next few months, just straight fucking down. So I am inclined to say that, hey, this one might have another push here. In fact, I do think it probably has another push here based off the 4 hour. It looks decent. 4 hour hidden bullish divergence right here. Probably does get another try at the high at 450, maybe even another drive towards new all-time highs, but I do think that this one's getting very, very close to like a major macro high. Yeah, same thing on the weekly here too. I think it's got one more push likely. Lord Stoof Aka. Actually, before we do that, I should give you a condition for the other side. Look, your last higher low is right here at about 400 Satoshi. As long as you're, if you do crack below there, I would be looking for a bit of a short-term pullback or medium-term pullback to about 350-ish region and then reassess from there. But at least for now, I don't really have a huge reason to be skeptical of it as it is. All right, Lord Stoof Aka says, hey, daddy. Whoa, what the fuck? Daddy, could you check Noia USD? Okay, Noia. Okay, USD. So this thing right here, Synthropy. All right, it's on KuCoin, so that's right. 4 hour and daily. All right, 4 hour is looking like a bit of regular bullish divergence right here. I'll be looking at a little bit of a short-term move to the upside, probably around 58.80. You do have a 4 hour death cross incoming though, and I typically don't like that. But at least short-term upside. Daily's pretty simple here as far as structure goes. I mean, you got your last low right here, right around about 46 cents. So, technically speaking, you can make a few concessions for it as long as it's above there. But at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of this one right here. Problem is, again, just as we speak about, every altcoin, it's market analysis right now over altcoin analysis. And while this chart does look droopy, and typically speaking, I'd be like, look, this thing's fucking rolling over. It looks like garbage. probably going to go down on the whole. It's probably going to break to the downside. I'm inclined to say that's not going to happen. The reason why is because the rest of the market is more or less strong here, and this one could very easily put another higher low right here. And assuming that 4-hour divergence plays out, which would again have a target, muted target around like 59 cents region, that's going to put it back above the 55 right here. And at that point, I'd be looking at a daily drive somewhere around like 68 to 69 cents region. So I'm more inclined to err on that side, especially with this also producing a hidden bullish divergence, assuming that this confirms as local low. Again, driven off of that 4-hour divergence. So I do put a bit of weight on that. Okay, whoa. All right, I do have to remind myself. I actually do have to leave this stream in about 10 minutes here, so I'm gonna try to get through all the comments as much as I can, and then I will have to shut it off. I just want to let you know right now. I do. I just want to warn you in case if anything weird happens. All right, Mahedal says, "Sir, I'm a derp pattern trader. What the fuck?" I draw triangles, hexagons, and doggies on charts. Doggies? That must be money. And look for breakout dildos. Nice. And do okay. How'd you decide your edge, sir? Okay, first off, does that edge work in a non-straight up market? That'd be my first question to you. But hey, man, if it works, it works. So there you go. How did I decide my edge? Okay, so I backwards engineer my edge. I know myself as a trader, I don't like to hold things for too long. I don't like being in trades for fucking, days, weeks at a time. I feel weird about that. It makes me, I come from traditional markets where I like to go to fucking bed at night and not have to worry about my goddamn position. So I'm generally on the lower end of things, and I'm generally going to be a scalper. And so for traditional markets, that meant that I wanted to use the lowest possible time frame that had a little bit of efficacy. Great thing about traditional markets though is that you could do that on like a 5-minute time frame. It's it's not gonna be great, but 5 minutes okay, 30 minutes great, and hourly is even better. In Bitcoin land, for me, those same sort of time frames align with like a 4-hour, for example, and I do believe that the 4 hours is probably like the best bang for buck time frame, at least for myself in that style. And what I typically like to do is I just like to trade zones, and I like to trade liquidity zones and block order blocks. And I just take scalps off that. Pretty damn simple stuff. If you're in the program, which I don't know if you are, actually let go of one of my strategies. I think that was from a few months ago in December, I believe it was. It was a 12-hour liquid zone strategy, which is there for your viewing whenever you want. And we go through a few examples on that one, but pretty damn simple stuff, man. Very, very simple stuff. Also, one of the other things that I really, really like right now is just mainly trading divergences and momentum oscillators alongside those ranges. So range first, then momentum oscillators and divergences, kind of 1A, 1B right there. All right, cool. So yeah, I think the question though is mostly to do with how do you define your edge? The way that you define your the best way to define your edge is to not just fucking copy someone else, or maybe at first you do copy someone else just to find something that fucking works. But you ideally want to backwards engineer based off of your lifestyle and what is more importantly sustainable to yourself. Because what you can make a million goddamn successful trading strategies. Like you said, you're trading the fucking doggy dick pattern, which I don't even know what that is, but it sounds very interesting. And you can make anything, you can make a lot of different things work. The problem is though, what is going to be sustainable and consistent for yourself? Because that is what is going to make successful over time. If you can backwards engineer what's going to work for you, then put that to the test, make a trade journal, make a document where you actually go through a bunch of iterations and see what your hit rate is on that, and you can prove to yourself that your strategy actually will be successful, assuming that all of the moving parts are in place, then you got a fucking strategy. And that's what I leave you with. That's the most important thing. You don't need to copy exactly what I did, because it might not be that you want to be waiting around for that, or maybe a 4-hour time frame is too high, or maybe it's too low for you. I don't know. Maybe you want to be on a weekly. I can't decide that for you, but for myself, that's what the right decision is, for the most part. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Zacharettos. Brian K says, hey, Krown, could you kindly have a look at CRV USDT? Okay, let's see, CRV USD. I guess we'll go Binance. Okay, daily. All right, gotcha, man, gotcha. It's all good, Brian. It's all good, man. Okay, so this one is not as obvious as the other ones either. Definitely on the weaker side of the equation as far as altcoins go. And just as we've been saying with most of the altcoins, market analysis trumps all right now. I probably would be looking for a short-term move back to 330-ish region. Looking at, bless you, sir. Looking at a 4-hour right here, we got regular bullish divergence. I'd have a short-term move back up to about 315, 317-ish region, and then potentially extend that on on the daily, like I just said, to about 330-ish region. And then I want to come back to it after that. It's likely to follow whatever Bitcoin does. I'd really just watch Bitcoin for direction here. Whatever way that it breaks the current range, which I'm still leaning a little bit more to the north side. This one's very likely to fall, but short term, yes, a little bit of upside there. Mr. Nasty 7 says, "R USD any time frame?" All right, any time frame. We can go to like a minute if you want. But we can look at it right here. Pirate chain. Okay, this one's legit as fuck. Actually pretty good right here, man. This one's gonna make new all-time highs. This is a really strong chart right here, to be fair. Now it is starting to print some divergences, but I think you've already kind of seen that first move to the downside. I think it's got one more drive here, and then probably high is going to be in for a while. But I do think that you got one more short-term drive here. I would be willing to call a greater reversal with any sort of move back down below 329, however. AJ says Cake USD. Okay, Cake USD. Guys, I gotta warn you again. I got like 5, maybe a little bit more than 5 minutes right now. So if you do send in a chat, I can't promise I'm gonna get to it. Looking at Cake, 4 hours looking good here. Yeah, 4 hours actually looking pretty damn good. Not a lot of history, but and you didn't give a time frame, but 4 hour, yes, I'd be looking for another move back to about 26 and some odd change. Daily is looking good here. Yeah, I'd even extend that to about basically the prior high. This one probably makes new all-time highs on this run. It's looking good. It's looking good, at least for the information that we do have. All right, Luke T says, oh fuck, what did Luke T say? Bcash BTC weekly, please, brother. Okay, we'll make this one fast because hey, what the hell? BCH BTC. There we go. All right, Bcash Binance, I guess. And what do we do? Weekly. Okay, well, daily is looking a little bit. Okay, the question is this a reversal? Basically, we do have bullish evidence off the low. I think that's obviously played out. Like that didn't just hit the target; it smashed through the target. Now, I would say, well, you've already kind of got that next test down to the 21 in this case. And what I would say is this. I would actually be happy to be looking at this as a macro reversal in progress as long as it holds this level right here, not 0.147, or sorry, not 0.148. If it can hold that level, I generally think that this one's going to be heading to the upside with areas of interest around about 2.55 and 2.2 right there. Those last major highs. But for right now, yeah, you kind of have to favor it. Again, in these market conditions, kind of have to favor it. But below this area right here, 148 or 147, I'd get very bearish, looking for a full retrace back down to the prior lows at about 8,900. It'd be very, very bad. Hey, thanks for that, Lewis. Appreciate that, man. Hey, Krown, cheers from Mexico. Fuck yeah, man. The pesos. Can you look at Ethereum USD long-term? Okay, long-term to me means a weekly, and we can do that very quickly here. Hopefully not too quickly, but I still like the weekly. I still would be looking towards deeper $2,000 targets. And this one's actually very, very easy here too. Looking at the last week, right? The last week has a nice, massive, long-legged Doge yield right here. And as long as it is above the low of that, I remain north side angled. I remain looking for those deeper $2,000 targets to get hit. I'm talking about we've already hit $2,500 target. What was the next targets? I think it's like 3,000 basically. Yeah, it's just under 3,000 actually. So for this one right here, the similar ranges to Bitcoin would be about 2050 to the downside versus about 2275 to the upside. A break above 2275, and I'd be looking for a quick move to about 2,500 plus continuation over time. So there you go. I still overall like it. Bamsterdam says, hey Krown, I was wondering why you don't see the low of 7th of April Bitcoin as a daily local low. Okay, so you're talking about this low right here. You're talking about this one right here. This is not a local low right here because you don't have a clear stop and reverse point. Okay, so look at this. Let's go over the trend right here. Right here, you have a clear local high. There's no question about this. You know, you obviously have a period of uptrend, boom, puts in a high, and then clear down. Once you actually have the downtrend, meaning that you have a low, you have a lower high, and then you have, well, I mean, it's not really a lower low right here, but it is a low, right? And this is coming down right here. Once you get that is like its own structure. Fuck, I'm not doing a good job of explaining this. My point is like over here, where do you measure the high? Where do you measure the low? Because they can't be one and the same. And in this case right here, you don't have anything. You just have a range and you have continuation. It's probably easier to see on a 2-day. And if you want the secret cheat code, go to CME charts. CME chart, I think it'd be pretty damn obvious to look at this as like not a fucking local low, right? This is your last local low right here. So that's why it's a continuation drive is what it's looking like. We don't have like a clear stop and reverse point. That's the way that I kind of relate that concept. I think that I have a video on YouTube about this as well, which you might want to reference. But basically, what it's looking like right here is there's no like obvious stop and reverse point. It's just like one kind of continuous drive. Or what you can do is you can put this on a line chart, and this will make this very, very obvious, right? When you're looking at a high and a low, it should be very obvious, like this, like this, like this, like this, right? This right here is you might as well just draw a regression just to the next high, because this is your next high, right? So that would be why. Woodworth says, is Ethereum even worth it? I only have 2.5. I don't know. Is it worth it for what? I can't answer that question without knowing what does that even mean to you, man. The YouTube at it again. I can't answer that question for you. Is it worth it for what? Are you going to hold it for forever? Are you going to hold it for the next day? I don't fucking know, man. I have no idea what you mean by that. Absolutely no idea, man. So unfortunately, I can't really give you anything resembling like even a logical answer. Hambone Crypt says, morning Krown, good morning, sir. Got the basic TA program, which I need to start soon. B-Pro BTC, 4 hour on KuCoin. Okay, cool. The B-Pro Derpcoin. There we go. He said 4 hour, and yeah, just 4 hour actually. 4 hour, looking at a little bit of a local low here. I'd be looking for a short-term move back up to 2450-ish region on the Bitcoin pairing. Qasim Malik says, hey Krown, what's up, Qasim? Could you please look at HXRO USDT short to medium term? Okay, short to medium term means 4 hour to like 12 hour to me. But let's see how much history this thing actually has. It's on Bittrex, so it can't be too bad. Short term looks like a little bit of a low in place here. I'd be looking for a short term move up to about 59 cents or so. Daily. I wouldn't be willing to call anything more than that. Just a little bit of short term up. I don't have any opinion on top of it other than that. Here's the obvious thing right here. It's not gonna be too helpful, but above 64.40, I would be bullish for new all-time highs. But I'd really only be willing to look at the short term time frames here, and I do think that it has a little bit of short term upside. 59 cents where I'd be looking towards. Again, market analysis here trumps pretty much everything else. Okay, Mr. Wallen says, Krown, love your work. Thanks, man. XRP. Hey, XRP. Fuck yeah, man. We got some XRP love in here. Where is Africa? Africa, where are you? XRP is going to the moon and beyonds. And Mr. Africa, and I actually haven't seen him in the chats today. What's up, Rochelle? Okay, yeah, 4 hour right here. Very similar to Bitcoin. I do think it's got a short-term move to the upside, 140-ish region. However, this one a little bit more obvious with a potential descending triangle in play here. Now, if it does top out again at about 140-ish region, well, let's get rid of this area right here first. If it does top out again at this region right here, that actually would be a little bit problematic, because you would be essentially making a descending triangle. But for right now, a little bit of short-term upside. And you did ask about a daily. Okay. I'm inclined to say on the daily, it probably does pull through to the upside, honestly. Probably does extend itself to like 155-ish region. Then we come back to it after that. But more or less ranging on the highs right now, which is not a bad thing. Let's actually go to the weekly here too, because I think the weekly is still looking okay. Well, we'll come back to this one, I think. I would not be willing to put my name on that one. Earth is flat. It says, is that Linky stain? You think? Is it stain? I don't know. Link BTC or Link USD. We already looked at Link USD. We can pull it up one more time. I actually still like it for what it's worth. I still like the weekly. I still like the daily. I still like pretty much all time frames here, actually. This one, I am, god damn it, work. Weekly hidden bullish evidence. Daily put in what seems to be a higher low in progress. 4 hour, higher low as well. I'd be looking for a short-term move up to, yeah, 39.75, maybe even $40. Looks okay. AM says, hi, sir. Hello, sir. Would you mind looking at BNB 4 to 6 hour? All right, I'm going to do BNB USD. Got to be one of the last ones, man. I'm actually over my time right now, but I'll try to do this last one. BNB looks good. BNB actually pulling through, and this actually really bodes well for kind of my thesis on or not my thesis. Like, I'm writing out my thesis right now. No, what I mean is that this one does have some short-term upside. Taking out the last 4 hour high is very good. I'd be looking for this one to pop up, actually up to 575. Probably even just makes another run here. I think that this one's very close to another major high as well, but at least for now, I do think that has one more try, one more run here at least. I shouldn't say at least, but very likely. Mana USD. Okay, we'll just do Mana USD, man. I really need to get out of here though. I do apologize about this because I know there's a couple more people here. But I'll do my best, man. I'll do my best. All right, Mana USD looking good on the weekly. You did not give a time frame, but daily's put in a higher low as well. Short term 153 region, and I'd be looking for Newton mods after that, man. It's looking good actually, especially on the weekly. Okay, Bondly USDT. Okay, this is the last of the last of the last. I see you over there, Mr. Ty Webb. Appreciate that, brother. Okay, we'll do Ty Webb too. God damn it, man. All right. Bondly USD. All right, let's see what we got here. No history, man. I don't have any opinion on this. I can't in good faith give you an opinion, man. There's just not enough history here. If anything, I'd say a short-term move to the upside, like 39 cents. But I look, man. Technical analysis is very much limited, especially for something that's been only around for like a week. Sorry, man. I don't really have anything too much helpful to say to you, but unfortunately, you know, unfortunately, I have to be honest here. I have no fucking clue on this one. A healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer. All right, Ty Webb, the last of the last. RBLX. Okay, there's only one. There's only one. Got it. 12 hour on daily. Well, 4 hour looks shitty. 12 hour also looks shitty. Short term probably does. You know, if this thing popped back up to like 73, 75 region, I'd actually be looking at that as a sell, to be honest with you. Again, not a whole hell of a lot of history here, so I really don't trust it, but I do think that this one ultimately has more downside after maybe a short term move to the upside. I do think that it will find its way down somewhere around like 66, 67 ish region. Fellas, it's been an absolute pleasure. And also Rets. I'm talking to the look. All people of all creeds, colors, and genders, and whatever the fuck. I just want to wish you well, man. Or, sorry, not man, but you know what I mean. I just want to wish you well. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to be signing off now. Like I said, I'm a little bit crunched for time here, but we'll be back on, actually, probably not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. If we do tomorrow live stream, it'll be in the morning, but definitely Thursday. So with that said, I wish you well once again. Take care and see you.